Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Comic Source. I'm your host, Jace. We're here today, Creator-Owned Spotlight. We're going to talk about a project from Ignition Press. I have Inaki Miranda and Roy Miranda, the brothers and the creators behind Arcadia, here today to tell us all about it. So, gentlemen, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today.
No, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, why don't we start off? I'll throw it over to you first, Roy. Give everybody kind of the synopsis of what Arcadia is about. I mean, I know that's kind of a tough question because it's such a big, massive world. But you know, if you were describing it to somebody, how would you describe it?
At first, I'm going to say I'm going to try to translate my brother. I mean, he speaks English, but worse than me. So
okay, gotcha.
I'm guessing he's going to say it in Spanish, and then I'll do the translation.
Okay,
I'll try.
Sorry for that.
No worries.
Es una respuesta complicada.
A question, he says. Answer.
O sea, hay un resumen sencillo que es la historia de Halu, que es un serante que nace de un silo en el que hay crisálidas de superdragones, y se encuentra en un mundo que no sabe decirle qué es, sabe que no es un humano y se tiene que enfrentar a intentar descubrir qué es en un lugar que parece que se ha terminado.
He says it is basically the simple answer is this is a story of Halu, the main character, that is born out of a cocoon called Superdragons. They're bioelectrical cocoons. And basically he's born in a world that he doesn't understand, and he doesn't know. He knows it's not human, and it's how he faces this world, this unknown world.
Yeah, we saw some hints. You know, I got a chance to read the preview from San Diego Comic-Con, and you know, we had a chance to check it out. I had a chance to read it, and this world that you two have created, it not necessarily Earth, but Earth adjacent. But we're far in the future. You know, war is a thing of the past. It's so mysterious, and such a big story. And we do see the cocoons that you mentioned, the Superdragons, where kind of the people that are post-human, I think it would be the way to say it, are sort of hatching. So it's so interesting because there's a balance between it being very personal, but also being big in scope. So, you know, small with each individual, you know, wanting to survive and explore the history of the world, but then so big and massive with what's going on with the mysteries and the Superdragons and what have you. You guys aware of that balance, how there's kind of two different sides? I don't know if you want to tackle that one, Inaki.
Yeah, we're very aware of that, and I think that was the encouraging part, and also the complicated part, because we're dealing with human emotions. Basically, this is the heart of Arcadia. It's speaking about human emotions, so you have to keep that part very. A big part of it has to be abstract and poetic. And if you're dealing with conscience and what the questions that every human being makes to himself is, where do we come from and what are we? So that's the same question these characters, even if they're not human, that's the basic question they make themselves. So that part has to be abstract and intimate because nobody has the answer. So you have to deal with emotions that are basically abstract. And at the same time, we want this to be big in scope and easy to engage with. We want this to be a story first and foremost. A story that makes you, laugh, cry, or whatever, and engages you, and you want to keep reading. I think that the balance of both those, and the big scope is also visually, and that's something also that has to do a lot with fascination. That we think that something that really attracts readers, and I'll speak for myself, me, to stories. I have to feel that fascination. It happens with video games, comics, everything that's visual has that part of fascination that keeps you wanting to look at it and keep absorbing things. So that's the balance that we knew we had. We had a lot of conversations first with this, and the abstract part was going to be sacred, because if you kill the abstract part because you want to tell too much, then you kill the emotion, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I read that preview, I did get a sense of the mystery and the sense of the scope of the world. But again, the kind of the immediacy, right? So again, everybody, if you look at the background, and I'll show another picture in a little bit. These are the Superdragons, where these Serants, these kind of post-human beings, they appear human, but we'll learn throughout the story that they're more than human. But they're being born, but they're being born out of these cocoons, but they're immediately in danger from the other Superdragons. And again, you can see that in the preview. And this Kickstarter is for what's called the Cold Open. So it's basically a little vignette story. It's only $10. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can go and check it out. And it will give you a hint of what's to come. And again, that great balance that you guys have struck between the two. So let me ask you, Roy, the urgency of somebody waking up and immediately being in danger. And it's not like they're born like they're a little tiny baby. They're more advanced than that. But what's the attraction there as a writer to have a new character come on the scene and immediately be in danger?
En este mundo están los serantes que nacen del cocoon, y por otro lado hay superdragones que protegen el nacimiento de los serantes, porque tienen en contra a otros seres, que son las singularidades, que están preparadas para eliminar cualquier aparición de serantes.
Yes, in this world, there are the Serants that are born out of the cocoons, and there are the Superdragons called Centurions that basically are there to protect them from the singularities. That are the beings that are going to try to kill them as they are born.
Y los serantes ya nacidos, a los que existen, desarrollan un inhibidor, pero tienen poco tiempo para salvar a un nuevo nacimiento.
And the already existent Serants in this world, they manufacture an inhibitor that they nucleate in the Serants as they are born, and they have to act quick before the singularities, because these inhibitors protect them from the once they are inhibited, the singularities can't look and see them, so they become invisible to them.
Pero tampoco sabemos por qué los
But
quieren.
we don't know. But we also don't know why this happens. That's a mystery too. Y la pregunta que te hizo es ¿cuál es lo que disfrutas de algo así, de nacer y tan rápidamente estar en peligro? De cómo disfrutas de escribir una escena así.
Creo que hay tanto nuevo. O sea, Arcadia es algo que no existe, algo nuevo, algo demasiado original, con lo que nos ha permitido crear reglas únicas. Y
It's so much new stuff in Arcadia, and mostly doesn't exist in anywhere. So that allows us to create rules to play with from the start.
y hace que sea muy divertido, claro.
So that makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, we can tell that you guys are having fun making it. And again, everybody, I can't stress kind of the mystery. And this is one of those books, like, don't go in there when you start to read it and think you're going to kind of figure everything out. I mean, you can try to, guess and theorize, whatever. But I think from the sense I got from reading the preview is just dive in. It's so immersive. Just dive in and enjoy the ride. And Roy and Inaki are going to tell us what we need to know, as the story progresses. So, that's a lot of fun. And you guys have worked on, projects together before. What's that collaboration like? Like when Roy brought this idea to you, Inaki, and you're thinking about the visuals, and we'll talk about the colors as well in a little bit. What's that collaboration like? Is it a lot of back and forth? Does he bring you ideas fully formed? Are you guys coming up with the kind of the concepts together? Give us a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, I mean, we come up with we write together. I'm not just the artist, so it's everything comes out of a lot of conversations, and then once we have the world mapped out and the story, that's when we sit and start writing together. In this particular case, in Arcadia, this is a project that I've been thinking about for 12 years, around 12 years. I've been creating the visual world and all the rules and all the what attracts me from reality and things that happen to me in life and whatever. I've been 12 years thinking about what are the rules of reality and how conscious works. So this is a project that I put on the table. I call Roy. I have this story and these characters, this world, these rules, and I asked him to join me to write this together. So, and he said, yeah. I mean, I had to explain to him all the abstract parts. It's difficult to explain to another person when you don't want to kill the abstraction,
Right.
and you have to explain why. Where does it come from? And there are things that you don't have an answer to. But I mean, I think Roy got in my mind, and then we went to the fun part that is really, putting juice in the plot and creating all the fun part of of narration. That's how we deal with this in this particular project. That's how we function together in this one.
And what about for you, Roy? What's it like working with your brother?
In this case, that was like, okay, I don't understand you, but I feel you and I follow you.
And as the project went along, you kind of started to understand what he was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
right on. Great.
Yeah,
go ahead.
A lot of difficult. Yeah. Too hard to feel, too hard to explain.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you're watching us on YouTube, everybody, I'm putting the background. I have that kind of muted out, but here you can see it with the full, regular colors. And that's another thing that I wanted to mention. So Roy and Inaki obviously are working really hard on this, but they have a colorist, Ava De La Cruz, who Inaki, the artist, has worked with before. And to me, it seems like this is a world and a story where color is just as important as the line work and just as important as the narrative. It really kind of lands those story beats, those parts of the story you want to hit. And it's so bright. I mean, the colors are just amazing. So how has that been, Inaki, bringing Eva on? Like I said, you've worked with her before, but specifically for this project, it seems like, her talent level and her skills are just perfectly suited for kind of this complicated story that you guys are telling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's unfortunate. We're both fortunate to have her in the team because it is like so important, the part of coloring. And in this particular comic, it's a rare balance because it's a broken world that has to be feel like it's used. And at the same time, it has to be a celebration of life. It's not the typical post-apocalyptic, everything's, it has to give you joy. So, and coloring, it's all about emotion. So, I'm lucky that I know Eva since college. So it's like 30 years we've been like working together, even before we were working together. Mm-hmm. And so up to this project, we always had a chat and like how we're going to face this project. And I think this is the first project that I just told her, okay, I don't have to tell you anything.
Yeah, that's great. And
okay.
And good point that you're making. This is kind of like I said, it's a post-war, post-human story. Far in the future, things are broken. humankind doesn't exist. And yeah, a lot of times we tell those stories, the colors are drab and dreary, the world's run down, and this is the opposite of that. I love what you said about it being a celebration of life.
Yeah.
And at San Diego Comic-Con, everybody, you may have seen this photo before. At the Ignition press room, they had this huge, giant painting, which was amazing. And again, one of the things that struck me was the colors. So that was great to see that. That must have been fun to do that image on that scale and have it out there as kind of the first image for people to see and associate with Arcadia. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, this project, I think I started painting this. I have like I don't know if there are 20 paintings of this already finished. And I started creating the Superdragon 12 years ago. It was always a cocoon. It was always about transcending the human being. And I created this world with these rules, and so this painting in particular, it's like it works with projection mapping, so it has animation and lighting, and it was very fun, but at the same time, it's like it takes you a lot to do one of these paintings because
yeah, it's huge.
it has a lot of layers of paint, so you can't tell the brush strokes because it has to be very polished. So it's fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I imagine so. Well, this question is for both of you. I wonder, Aftershock, or Ignition Press, they're just getting started. And we've had one book, like it actually came out this week, this Wednesday. We had the first release from Leigh Williams and David Baldion with Voyeur. We have Deluge coming soon, Murder Podcast coming soon as well. And you guys have been around the block. You've done stuff with European publishers over in the U.S. And Ignition Press, one of the things they're talking about is doing something differently. Not doing the same old thing. So what has the working relationship been like? What's the experience been like working with Ignition Press? I'd like to get the perspective from both of you. If you want to go first, Roy, and then we'll let Inaki.
Roy, vos primero.
Sí, creo que tenés que desarrollar más vos, pero mi sensación, sobre todo en el viaje de San Diego, es que estamos en el lugar correcto en el momento correcto. Ellos son el lugar correcto y el momento correcto.
He says the sensation he has from knowing them in person in San Diego, and he thinks the best way to describe this is that we feel that we're in the right moment in the right place, and that's what they are. They are the right moment in the right place.
Yeah, and what about for you, Naki? Feel similar? Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, what I say is that, first, it's like as professionals and as human beings, they're amazing. And I'm not just saying this as a press release. The sensation you have is that they are at the top of the game. They know exactly what they're doing. And at the same time, they work together. And sometimes in publishers, you have a good relationship with the editor, but then it's a machine that it's above them, and you get lost in that relationship, and it's a little bit cold. You don't feel like everybody knows what's happening, And here you have the sensation that everybody knows what's happening, what you're doing. Whatever you need, everybody knows that, and they also, as a professional part, they have the knowledge to know before you say it. They know what you need, and they know how to create the atmosphere and the place for you to be happy and your potential grows. Yeah. And Arcadia, when we send it. We knew this was a very complicated story to tell. It is, because the structure is not. It's not that in the first issue you don't know what's going to happen, what the story is about. You don't. So the structure is very laid out. Yeah. And from the pitch, without us telling anything, they knew that. I mean, we were already like the pressure in my mind. Okay, how the hell are we going to do this in, let's say, 5, 6 issues? In my mind, I said, I hope we get 8 issues. And even though it was a very a pressure of nine, I don't know how we're going to fit this in 8 issues even. So the first response is they offered we have to do this in 12 issues. We think it was like I can't believe that. Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
It's exactly what the story needs. So that means that they know what they're doing, and because they have the four of them are the exact piece that is needed in that place, and they are at the top of the game in each piece. So you feel protected. And also you feel like you're enjoying their company and you're enjoying working with them. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of creators that I've talked to, you feel like, you kind of mentioned it, where you don't feel like you're part of the machine that's just churning out comics to make money. You feel valued as a creator, valued for your story, and they're going to do what's needed to make sure the story is the best it can be.
Yes.
And when you two as creators feel valued, you're just going to put more of your passion, you're not worried, you're not stressed about any of the business stuff. You can just focus on creating and put your passion in. And if you two are having fun doing it and creating it, then us as fans, we're going to have that much more fun reading it. So it just, it all builds. So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to remind everybody out there listening, or watching on YouTube, as I always do when it comes to these creator-owned projects, we understand that times are tight, right? And maybe Arcadia sounds like something that's right up your alley, and you would love to, nothing more than to be part of the campaign, but you just can't swing it right now. Like, we understand. We get it. The other way you can help out Inaki and Roy, other than joining the campaign to get this preview, is to share it on social media. Let your comic shop know about it. There's a retailer tier that your comic shop can get. They want to get some copies of the preview, the cold open. But let's get this out in front of as many eyes and let as many comic readers and people that love sci-fi or post-apocalyptic stories or great art, let's let everybody know about it so they can get a chance to go and check out the campaign. So again, there's a link in the show notes. As Roy and Inaki and I are recording this, it's already funded. So if you join the campaign, you're going to get the cold open issue. Again, it's one issue. You can get a digital copy for $5. You can get the actual hard copy for $10. And then the full story will be coming out later. So take a few minutes and go and check it out. Again, link in the show notes, and there's a little bit of some preview pages where you can get an idea. We see kind of the armed force getting ready to go in and rescue some of these Serants as they're awakening from these cocoons. So you'll get an idea of what the story is about. So I want to thank you guys for joining me, but I do want to give you a final chance here. If there's anything else you want our audience to know about the story or about Ignition or about this project, here's your chance. So we'll start with you, Roy. Anything else that you want to add as we're closing down here?
Que no existe nada igual que Arcadia. No hay otra manera de explicarlo. No existe nada igual y ha sido un viaje crearlo. Todavía estamos en el viaje y creo que el que lo lea lo que va a vivir es un viaje.
He says there's nothing like Arcadia. It's unique, and we're enjoying the journey, and the reader will, if that join us, will experience that same journey that we're experiencing.
Great. And what about you, Inaki? Any last thoughts?
I think that it's a good moment to let everybody know that in the Kickstarter campaign, even we're fully funded, we're trying to unlock the soundtrack. We're creating an original soundtrack. So we hope to unlock. So that's part of that. We're hoping that if people share it and we get to unlock all 12 issues.
Fantastic. Yeah. Again, fully funded, but yeah, those stretch goals. And again, everybody, the more people that join the campaign, the more value you get for your pledge as these stretch goals are unlocked. So I can't wait to check it out. Again, I read the preview from San Diego Comic-Con. I loved it. I can't wait to check out the cold open. and experience each of those 12 issues and kind of learn what this story is about. Because, again, it feels big and it feels immersive, and I can't wait to experience it. So thank you so much, Roy and Inaki, for joining me. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, Jace. We really appreciate it. I mean, every drop of this kind of podcast and that in this level of conversations that are really about the work, we love it. Thank you.
My pleasure. And on behalf of Roy and Inaki, we want to express our gratitude to everybody out there joining us, whether you're listening on the audio only or on the YouTube. We really appreciate you joining us, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.